I'm excited about this one. Boy, welcome to Randy Plays a Game. I am the titular Randy. The titular game is right there in your face. It is Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve, of course, released in 1998. It is a Japanese-style role-playing game slash survival horror hybrid thing. I have minimal experience with this game, but more than zero. I have touched the demo, I think, but pretty much zero. It is actually based on a book that I have read as of today. I have finished reading it today, and that will be addressed as we play this game. It's kind of weird that the tutorial is on the main menu here and not actually in the game itself. I want to say that the volume is a little... It's always messed up. I always complain about the volume because it's always messed up. That's why I complain about it. Anyway, let's check out how to use the controller. Do I put my hands on it like this? And oh, that's a legit PlayStation controller right there as well. Move the character, select message, item, weapon, armor, move character. Yep. 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 Okay, well, I'm not gonna remember any of that, but that's fine. Nope, I don't have that type of controller. At least not enabled in my perfectly legitimate hardware. About icon, I might just roll. You know what? Let's just roll. I'm ready to go. I don't want this stupid tutorial stuff. Let's just get going. Video games. It's about time, isn't it? Tim, I'm glad you're here. Correcting me, putting me on the right path. Tim Scold, largely responsible for why I'm playing this. He brought it up. It is something I've been meaning to play in my life. So here it is. That is a statue I recognize. I have one in my backyard, including the bleeding out of the eyeballs. That's a striking image. So I can already tell you this is different than the book because this game takes place in what I believe is New York City. The book does not. The book takes place in Japan. Japan, as they say. So already vastly different. Takes place on Christmas or thereabouts, so this is obviously a Shane Black game. Is Parasite Eve a Christmas game? Let's debate it here and now. Okay. Here we go. Now we're talking. Those are some photorealistic looking people. As per usual, I will be reading the dialogue out loud if there is no voice acting, which I don't think there is. Man says, "What's wrong? You're the one who wanted to come to the opera." I don't know if I advance or it advances for me. I'm not quite sure. I think I advance based on... Okay. Yep, I advance the text. Name, Aya Brea. Age, 25. Oh my God. Occupation, NYPD officer. 25 sounds like that's a lifetime ago. Wait, well, I mean, if her name is Aya Brea, then I should probably just keep it as Aya then, right? Why would I change that? She has a name. You gave her a name. Just keep it the way it is. Still Aya Brea, age 25, NYPD officer is the occupation. She does have open-toed shoes, so I'm a little bit distracted, but we're going to try to move on anyway. Aya says, "I don't know. You're right. I'll try to have more fun. I have never been to an opera. Probably wouldn't like it. I guess I don't know. That's true. I'd like to be a cultured person one day." Man says, "Aren't you glad you decided to go out with me? I even had my dad get the best seats for us tonight. So lighten up. We're going to have a great time. You'll see." Cool. And we're all just going to stay here like statues. And that's the end. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Shorter than I expected, but there we go. I'm joking, Tim. Like, obviously, I know. I'm not that stupid. Man says, come on, we better go inside. Well, I want to talk to the doorman. And the doorman says, please take your seats. The show's about to start. Okay. Doorman says, enjoy the show. They do a better job, the world does a better job at informing you when you're supposed to take control. Normally they've got those cutscene little black bars thing, and this one doesn't have that. Is that him? How did he get in here before I did? Well, man says, let's get to our seats. They've already started the first act. Aya says, already? Oh, we better get to the seats then. Why are we late? Did they say why we're late? Are we just fashionably so? Yeah, pre-rendered backgrounds. Give it to me. Turn it up just a smidge. Oh, that's an opera. Princess Father, please give me permission to marry Eva. Uh-oh. That dialogue advances on its own. No jokes until it's over. King says, I forbid it. You know well what will happen if you do. Those who succumb to her beauty all die in horrible ways. That's the king talking still. Prince says, you don't understand. She is the one that has suffered after the deaths. King says, she is evil. Guard, grab her and burn her at the stake. She's a witch. Some good animation on those models, though. Not bad. Princess Father, if you are sentencing her to death, then I ask you to take my life along with hers. Eva says, Edward. Apparently the prince is named Edward. What a lovely voice the prince has. Hey, the opera got a lot better looking. Wait, she's still singing even though her mouth is closed. What's up with her eyes? The eyes! Oh, okay, this is in the book. What a way to start this, though. That's baller. I seem unconcerned. Hey! I didn't pay for this. Special effects of this opera it's really immersive. This is how you start a video game, man. This rules. None of this protagonist waking up nonsense. No, let's get you right into a fiery opera. People just combusting spontaneously. Yes, that ability is in the book. The antagonist is able to do that. Aya says, Man says, Jesus, I don't wanna. Oh my God, I. Aya says, go, get out of here now. Ooh, okay. Aya might be cool. Doesn't run very fast, but in her defense, she's in heels, I think. All right, let's do this. Is she floating now? I think she is. Aya says, freeze, NYPD! Why is she, what is she under arrest for? Everyone else just spontaneously combusted. Actress says, humph, you're the only one who seems to be fine. Aya says, what? Actress says, you should be awakening soon. Yeah, is that... Well, that was a coincidence on my part, but I did notice that there's like some heat behind Parasite Eve. But I've read the book now. I'm a literated man. I know that's not a word, but Aya says, what are you talking about? Actor says, listen, your cells are trying to communicate. Mikhail's hair. Yeah, Ava's boobs, they're nice. Nice and flumpy. Flumpy? Alright, well, I'm coining that word. Trademark it. Flumpy. No one can take that from me. Actor says, they're calling out. The boobs are calling out. Correct. I can feel them. I can... Ah! Here's the thing. This might be worth changing controllers here, so I'm gonna have you just wait just a second while I, you know, mess with legitimate controllers. And, you could just bear with me real quick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't know if that's just gonna work, but we're gonna find out. Heck yes, alright. We plugged in the analog controller. Okay, yep, that sounds good. Bam. Just bam one? One bam? Actor says, ha ha ha! I have never played, so, let me rephrase. I've played like a demo or this opening, and I have done nothing other than that, so this is pretty much all new to me, and when I did, it was a recent release, so this is... Might as well be starting from fresh. Aya says, what's happening? My body, it's getting hot. Also in the book. Actor says, just as I thought. Aya says, what is this? What did you do to me? Oh. Oh. This game might rule, by the way. I'm assuming that attack gauge means I can attack. That's just what I'm going to go ahead and assume. Oh yeah, that's what that means. So we dodged and took... I'm impressed that she's able to do this in heels. You know what? Can I cancel that? Yeah, let's cancel that, because she's about to... Never mind. Well, Mikhail, hope you're in for it, because we're here. We're going to relive it together. Actor says, our bodies are communicating with each other. I'm more than okay with going to Parasite Eve 2. I've never touched even, I don't even know what Parasite Eve 2 looks like, let alone plays like. Aya says, what? Communicating what? What do you want? How many times can I say what? Actor says, the more you use that power, the more you will become like me. Aya says, boobs? Power? What power? Who are you? Actor says, Eve. Aya says, Eve? Eve says, I'm surprised you don't know me, Aya. You should know me well. Aya says, what? Don't know what I said to make, to tickle Mikhail, but I say a lot of dumb stuff. Aya says, what? What is this? What is it? I've been talking about the comparisons to the book. So far, it does not take place in the same thing, the location. It does not have characters in common, per se. Like, Eve is obviously a character in the book. Eve does have pyrokinesis, and she does make people feel warm around her. So those are the comparisons and the contrasts of the book so far. Aya says, what was that? Eve says, ha ha ha. Aya says, wait, where are you going? I'm not through with you yet. All right. Wait, can I? Oh man, analog movement. I'm very excited about this. This is my kind of game. I'm just ready for it, man. I needed something. I needed something like this. There was also, am I wrong to say that there was a mobile-only Parasite Eve game? Is it like the third birthday or something like that? Or is that the PSP one? I think the reason this franchise has not continued to the extent that you would think it would is because it's based on the book, and obviously that is a license. Therefore, they have to, like, pay the author or whoever owns the property. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Normal armor. Okay, I wouldn't mind the D-pad to actually work with the menu, but we'll live, I guess. I don't know why I thought I had to go back on the stage. It just didn't feel intuitive going this way. But whatever. It was niche. I don't know. I mean, it's niche a bit, but not that niche. This was still a Squaresoft RPG. It was a hit, from what I recall. I mean, it's niche by today's standards, but it still probably sold a couple million, if I had to guess. I don't actually know that for sure, but I have to assume. Okay, all these people are very, very, very much dead. Excuse me. In the book, they turn to ash when they get burned. And that's a point of contention. You're like, oh man, how hot do they have to be to turn to ash? It's like 3,000 degrees or something like that. All right, now we're lost already. They clearly do not want me to go this way. They just wanted me to see the burning bodies. Yeah, they need remakes, and God, I'm so excited about this though. Really, this is hitting the spot. There's one thing that Squaresoft, especially of this era, and maybe period, does better than everybody else. There is a literary concept called in media res, which I think literally translates to in the middle. And they have such really compelling intros that are just like, okay, we're going to throw you in the midst of it, and it's going to be weird and wild and crazy, and you're going to have so many questions, and you're just going to be in from the get-go. And Square has done that a lot, and it's... I always love that. Because most RPGs, maybe not most, a lot of them... Where do I go? There we go. A lot of them start with a protagonist waking up and them introducing the world through a town, and that's just gosh darn boring. Aya says, I know she's down there. It's the fuzz. Cheese it! Aya says, sounds like my backups arrived. I should probably wait for them, and by that I mean go down. Okay. Aya says, are you alone? It's dangerous here. You should go. Oh, spookiness. As long as she goes through the door and doesn't dissipate. Oh, no! Yep. Aya says, that girl, it couldn't be. She's reacting. Good for her. Aya says, let's see. There are iron rings on the other side. Or on the side. Forget it. I'm not going back up. We have to find Ghost Girl. That at all, the 0 ghosts in the book, to be clear. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do to explain that. It's locked. The book sucks, by the way. I would not recommend it. But I really wanted to know it. I wanted to know. Oh, he's hulking up. Hulk rat. Oh, baby. Oh, that looks so good. And it's peeing even. Just like real life when rats do this. I know I'm gonna keep comparing this to the book. There are no mutated rats in the book. 0. Oh. Yeah. Okay, well. I'm gonna love this game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it's cool. That's why, Jeremiah. You would agree with that. Are they supposed to be the same? So this game is loosely based on perhaps a sequel set in the same world to the book. A book came first. Kirikov says, I loved the game as a kid. Greetings from Well, hello! Greetings from the United States. I'm sorry on behalf of my country. Aya says, and welcome, by the way. Thank you for stopping by. It's the first time I played this. I've read the book as of today. And there, the stage has been set. Let's go. Aya says, Jesus, did Eve do that to the rat? What is going on here? Cracking. Very Resident Evil 2 soundtrack / noises so far. All reflections. This is the greatest game I ever made. If you let me go into every one of these lockers, I will be impressed with you. Medicine. Yeah, that reminds me of the Futurama. Oh no! Don't worry. I'll eat you fast. Nom, 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 nom. Did someone say floor jerky? Nom, nom, nom. Yes, nom, 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 nom. Oh, Kirikov, you followed 20 minutes ago. I don't call people out for following unless they chat. You have chatted, so there you go. Thank you for following me. That was a while ago. Aya says, you're still alive. Hold on. Let me call the paramedics. I don't like his odds, Aya. Do you see the man's skin? Or actress, I should say. Do you see the lady's skin? Actress says, Melissa. She's a monster. Aya says, don't try to talk now. Melissa. Melissa? You mean the main actress? Actress says she probably got to Suzanne, too. Not Suzanne! You'll have to stop her. Aya says, no, please, wake up. Hang in there. You've got so much to live for. Actress says, ... Which means death? It probably means death. Oh, I'm so excited about this game. I'm just kind of salivating. I needed this so bad after Digimon today. That's Digimon and Tomb Raider 2 and other Digimon. It's the clown. Hey, hey! Man says, ah, here, take it. Take everything. It's all on the counter. I don't want to take anything. I want you to entertain me. Juggle something. Aya says, don't scare me. I'm with the NYPD. Don't... You broke into his dressing room. Man says, you're the one who scared... Yeah, see, the clown knows what's up. I was just getting ready. You know, only staff are allowed in here. Aya says, there was an incident here. You'll have to evacuate. Man says, what? You're kidding, right? Hey, I'm not dying here tonight. See ya. Bye, clown. I'm sure he's fine. That's just part of the show. He went, huh! And then it's like ding 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 ding. The clown is fine. Everyone, relax. Don't worry. The clown is fine. We're gonna go out here and say like, hey clown, why are you still here? You should be gone by now. Well, presumably he would have gone this way to leave, right? Oh, wait, are there random battles? Did not expect that. Oh, yeah. Random battles. Interesting. Keep in mind, I don't mind random battles. That's not a problem. Level up. Is that a little hot on the volume? Tim, be my volume guy, as you usually are. Obtain all items. End. Alright, so I did want to go back here to see if the clown was dead. Is that the clown? Aya says, it's that clown from the dressing room. Tim says he thinks it's good. I'm going to compromise and smidgen it down. Very, very tiny smidge. Yep, I did want to see you die. Clown didn't have a key or anything? I'm glad that it let me go back to see that the clown was dead. That's good. I appreciate that. It's locked. It's locked. Cracking. Is that the clown? Is that a new clown? Oh, hey! Sorry, I gotta loot something from your ankle. Aya says, what's this key? And why was it on his ankle? Really good question. Oh, there's something. Man. Remember answering machines? No, you don't. Aya says, I'd better notify the department about what's happened here. Will you save your progress? I sure will. I think there's a treasure chest behind that thing, but whatever. If this took place today, you could just save wherever. It would just be a... Well, I saved it in the second slot. That's... Well... Alright. I did replace the cord in my controller, and it's still messing up. So I guess the controller's bonked for some reason. That's a bummer. It's Iago! Here it says, hot, hot, help, help. Okay. Can birds even do... No, we don't need to do that. How am I supposed to hot help you? Wait, what? Drop an item here? No. Why would I drop an item here? I don't understand. I'm assuming there must be like an inventory thing. Must be. Must be. It's locked. If only I had a theater key. In theory, I do. Dressing room key. So... Cracking! Oh man. There's a running theme of birds. Ammo plus 6. You know, for the actors. Here it says, Merry, Merry Christmas, goodbye. Oh, geez, okay. Ow! I've taken damage. The perfect run is over. Gotta start over. Yeah, did I not mention that I have to beat this game without taking damage? Reset. Did I find anything in here at all? Was this other than ammo? Breaking. Looking good, Aya. Aya says, a diary. November 3rd, Monday. The Christmas show is set. This has been my dream. The main actress has a solo concert at the theater in Central Park. I took all that medication to get here. I have to get the lead part. Wait, what? You took all that medication to get here? As in, I don't know what that sentence means in this context. I'll even sell my soul to the devil if I have to. Oh, we understand the origin now. November 17th, Monday. The cast was announced and Suzanne and I are double cast. I want to play the part alone, but everyone knows she's good. November 21st, Friday. I think I'm overdoing it. My body is getting hotter than ever for some reason. I'd better take more medicine. December 6th, Sat. I collapsed today. I lost consciousness after my body got hot. I don't care if I die. I just want to get through this show. December 10th, Wednesday. I passed out again. They told me to go to the doctor and get some rest. If this continues, Suzanne will definitely take my part. I need to get better. I better take a lot of medication tonight. December 11th, Thursday. Suzanne was burned in an apartment fire. I took medication. Is it because I wanted the part so bad? God, forgive me. December 17th, Wednesday. It looks like I'll be the lead. I'd better take more medication and work it. December 23rd, Tuesday. Opening night. Everything went smoothly. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. We should have the biggest crowd of the season. And I have the solo concert the next day at the park. But I'm not feeling well. I'd better shape up if I want to get through this. Let's perhaps take some medicine. I'd better take more medication. Yep. I says, for what? Why is she taking so much? She must have a drug problem. Now, to be clear, those were weeks apart from each other. So if she's only taking medication when she writes a journal entry, that's not too bad. Right? Most people probably partake in recreational drugs about that amount. I don't, but most people probably do. Another key in the diary, you say? Yeah, she has a life problem. The drug is the solution. Ammo +6. Again, in the actors' dressing rooms. Which makes sense if you think about it, because actors need bullets for their acting. Unlock the door. Bup's excited about Parasite Eve. I'm excited about Parasite Eve. We're about to surpass... we might have already surpassed how much I've seen of this game. Melissa says, I'm Melissa. I'm no. I'm I. You seem confused, Melissa. Melissa says, I am Eve. Melissa says, I'm getting hot. You're already hot, Melissa. Don't put yourself down like that. Eve says, nucleic domination has finally come to an end once and for all. Aya says, what? Cue the Tim Allen emote. Melissa. You know how expensive that piano was? The nucleus truly is a nuisance. Bam. Nailed it. That sucks, Randy. What are you doing? Eve says, once again. The day for the mitochondria to be free has finally arrived. Okay, so, yeah, pretty much the book stuff there. Oh, it's on. Blat, blat, away. Okay. Blat, blat, blat. Blat 2, okay. Is there a reload button? That's a tricky dodge, considering how early this is in the game. I mean, it's no first... Ow! Okay, hold on. Let's, is there an item thing in this? Blue. I took some medication. Even though I just gave a bunch of crap to the... Ow! That's a tricky dodge. No, 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 no. Ow. Is there a reload button? Eve says, looks like you still need some time, girl. to level up. We will fight when you are a higher level. Eve says, until your mitochondria is completely free. Aya says, mitochondria? What are you saying? I don't understand you. Well, did you read the book, Aya? Like, because I understand everything that's going on so far. Except the rats. The rats are not in the book. Nor was the clown. The clown was new to the game. Vital piece of lore for the game. Aya says, what? Where is this? Is that the little girl I saw? No, it's obviously you. Let's just go ahead and get that out there. That is very obviously Aya. Aya says, that doctor. Wait. Only when not in combat. Okay. There's got to be a way to reload. That's insane. Aya says, mitochondria to be free. I don't want to change weapon. Don't want to do that. What the heck is PE? Physical education? Now's not the time. Piano still looks remarkably not broken. Where'd she go? Well, let's get further in the holes. We like holes. Yeah, PE is magic, clearly, because there is a PE bar, but I don't know what it stands for. Ew, is this a da-poopy? Do we have some of a da-poopy? Oh boy. There's 3 this time. Flat, flat. Parasite energy? And maybe. That'd be weird. Ow! Speaking of. Now would be a good time to use it. The movie with Shia LaBeouf. I don't know what movie you're talking about. Lots of ammo. Okay. Rick Beef. Rick Beef. That's your new name, Rick. Oh, holes. I see. Okay. Yeah, no, I've never seen holes. But as long as it got us to Rick Beef, that's all I care about. Blam. Blam. I'm gonna try to reload, because it seems crazy that I can't. Don't want to change weapon. No. No. I'm gonna keep pressing buttons and hope that I can reload. The answer is no. Ouch. And now I messed up to the point where... Oh, I meant... Okay, whatever. How do I know how much is in my clip? Or do I? 'Cause that might be a fatal thing. In the book, there's... Ow! No, I don't think they are the clip. I think that's just how many you can shoot. Number next to weapon. Open inventory. Number next to weapon. So 2. Well, what I'm saying is she shoots twice. That's great. Then she shoots twice again. That's great. And then she shoots a third time. But then she shoots once and reloads. Where does the reload come from? Is basically my question. Could have gone upstairs, didn't. Aya says, "You're the little girl I saw at the theater. Are you lost?" Where the heck are we? Aya says, "Wait, little girl, don't go." Hold the aim button, but there is no aim button in this. So, probably not in this one. Not a deal breaker. It seems nuts that you'd think a police officer would reload the gun. Well, granted, in real life you don't actually reload until you're out of bullets, because you'd be wasting bullets at that point. So it makes sense that you wouldn't. This is really, really bad of a spot here. Not good. Yeah. Okay. Well, time to parasite whatever. Analyzes enemies' HP and weaknesses. Oh, neat. Good to know. I should actually just straight up do that, right? Because that'll tell me for all of them rats. That makes sense. Okay, so we know how much susceptible to poison. Sensitive to heat. Gets confused easily. Rats suck, apparently. Bam. Bam. It's that reload animation that's killing me, though. Revive? I don't get a party, do I? You're sensitive to poison, sensitive to heat, and get confused easily? That sounds disqualifying for a librarian. There was 0 point to going for going up there. Absolutely no reason. Aya's not too bright either, because she had backup. I take that back. Item increase attack power by 1. That sounds cool. Oh wait, I've got a new gun. Is it better? It is better. It's better in every way. Oh, there's the clip. I see. All right, I see the clip now. So it's 6 shots until I reload this time, which is better than 5. So is this truly not the way I have to go? This way? Okay. Now, so that catwalk was there so I could see those chests underneath. It was like a little secret hint, which was neat. I like that. That's not bad. Oh, 3 shots. You're dead now. You're still alive. Okay, so you can shoot out of the bubble. That's good to know. And you can separate your shots. You can go blam, and then I can go blam blam. Except I did it wrong. Alright, so I'm not sure how to avoid that. Oh, I should scan this thing. What are we doing? Calm down, Mikhail. Lucky Master. I mean, I don't know. She's been crawling around into poopy. I don't know if I'd want to lick her right now. Or ever. I'm married. Maybe her feet, but that's where I draw the line. 32 of 34. Sensitive to cold. And that's all we know. 8, 16, 24. That's not enough. Bam. Posture. You're married. So I'm sorry for mentioning feet then. Use the phone. I'm assuming using the phone heals me. Can I use this while I'm out of combat? This game's better than you. This game's better than you, is what I said out loud. Use the phone. Plus, look how fast that saves. That's way faster than Digimon, which takes an hour and a half. It's true. It needs the menu needs a loading screen. The first enemy needs to kill me multiple times. It needs to barely explain anything, but somehow take forever to do so. Aya says, hold it right there. Aya says, my body's getting hot again. Eve says, ha ha ha, Aya's ready to take me on just by herself. Take on me. Well, even if you did have more people with you, they'd just burn, right? Eve says, everyone else, but you are. Aya says, tell me, Eve, why? Why me? Why am I the only one? Because you're hot, I guess everyone is saying. Although Bup says I'm hot, so who knows? Eve says, you'll find out. Eve-eventually. Eve says, Eve in, if you don't understand, don't worry, your mitochondria will. They've always known. Eve is way into Eve puns. That's her character. Eve says, I'm going to give you some time to think and some time to evolve. Eve said, and the day shall arrive when you will awaken. Tell me why. I don't know, Eve's kind of hot too, especially with that goo on her fist. Tell me you're not aroused by that just a little bit. All baselines. No, Mikhail, we don't. You like feet just like I do. You like Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Here's a little Genova-y. There are 2 targets. I beg to differ. Nope. Hold on, everyone calm the heck down. How much juice do I need for this? Doesn't say. Doesn't say how much I need. What? Blat, no. Blat, blat. He's coughing at me. Oh, man. Am I supposed to lose this fight? Because that gosh darn hurt. Ghost Rider. No, I have not seen it. Mitochondria, ATB, apparently mitochondria. Ivan Ooze, who dat? I definitely don't know Ivan Ooze or any of these PS1 games or 90s references because I'm casually. Yes, Mikhail, stop it. Like, just stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to me. We can get through this together. That's why I have this channel, is so we can all work through our midlife crises. Probably need to heal before I scan. Nope. Want to scan. Scan you. Okay. HP, easily tranquilized. I don't have tranquilizers, though. Blam on the tail, blam on the tail, blam on the tail. Yeah. Man, this game might be tricky. Tricky like a clown that got burned alive. Now still can't heal, so use some juice. We're gonna be like Suzanne, or not Suzanne, whatever the other one is. Ah! Perfect dodge. I get more points for it. I want to scan the tail. I want to scan the tail. HP. Sensitive to heat. That does nothing for me. Blam. Blam, miss blam. Yaha, look at that dodge. Blam, blam, blam. Why can't I can't move anymore. I guess I won? We're lost? I don't know. Oh. Oh! We changed the arena. Is there only one target now? Apparently there's only one target now. Just kidding. Or if there is, I don't understand why I can't target the tail anymore. Ow! Dang! Yeah, it says there's only one target. Maybe I can only do it while he's doing something? Something? I can try scanning him again. Is there like a dodge move? It feels weirdly slow. Alright, let's scan him again. Maybe it's different now. Scan. Scan the man. HP is still. Easily tranquilized, which does nothing for me. Sensitive to heat. Do I have something that can tranquilize this thing? The answer is nay. So then I guess we keep blatting. Maybe we wait until he starts breathing fire? Fatal mistake? No, but that didn't work though. Good try. I love that they teach you how to heal yourself with magic in the police department. Like you can't go out on the job until you know how to heal yourself. With magic specifically. Yeah, he disappeared into green. And I leveled up. And I got an item. Tim says that I should be able to use points or something, but I'm not, it's not giving me that option. Perhaps later. Aya says, when I will awaken, just tell me what you want, Eve. That was one heck of a show. Reporter says, we're live in front of Carnegie Hall, which has become a scene of complete chaos. Miss, you are the sole survivor of this horrible ordeal, correct? Aya says, aye. Cameraman getting awfully close. Reporter says, until now, this combustion theory has been... What voice am I even doing anymore? Acknowledged only by occult enthusiasts. Aya says, please just leave me alone. I killed so many mutated rats. And possibly a clown. Not sure. Reporter says, this incident happened to take place on Christmas Eve of all nights. I would like to represent the citizens of the city and interview you exclusively. Alone with no cameras. In a locked room. No windows. Oh my! That's assault on camera. That guy's dead. That's back of the head. Reporter says, are you crazy? Jim, did you get this on tape? Man says, scram, buddy. Aya says, Daniel, Whew, Daniel. Daniel says, sorry, I'm late. Aya. Aya? Aya? Daniel says, Aya, you okay? That was really something that happened back there. Aya says, yeah, you assaulted a man on camera. You will be going to prison. Aya says, yes. Oh, but my date. Your date is so dead. Daniel says, heard from a cop that your boyfriend ran out of there like a wuss. Haha. Yeah, what a loser. He didn't want to be burned alive. What a dork, am I right? What a stupid man. Like, I'm putting a bad name to men. This is what I'm talking about these days, right? Like, men aren't men anymore. Running away from certain death. Well, how dare they? Like, what are we talking about? The communists are going to come over and take over this country because we run from inevitable death. Men, get DEI out of here because our men are weak. Or, sorry, your date didn't go well. Ahem, says whatever this guy's name is. I forgot. Daniel, I think. Aya says, it's not like that. I had him escort me because he kept pestering me for a date. Daniel says, yeah, out of all places. The opera? There's the story. Ha! So why the opera, huh? Is that the in thing right now? Aya says, saw the ad in the paper. I don't know. Just caught my eye. Daniel says, don't tell me you were on... Let me try again. Daniel says, don't tell me you were on to this case. Ha ha! So you finally got some cop instinct in you, huh? I'll put some cop instinct in you if you know what I'm saying. Not now, Aya. Aya says, instinct? Daniel, shouldn't you be with your son? It's Christmas Eve. Daniel says, he knows his dad's a cop. My boy understands. Anyway, to change the subject, I heard things from people who were there. But this is one heck of an incident, huh? Watch your mouth, Daniel. There are ladies present. Aya says, mitochondria. Mitochondria? Symbiosis? When was I in the hospital? I never said you were in the hospital. Daniel says, hey, Aya, you asleep? Your eyes are wide open. Do you sleep with your eyes open? All right, then. Don't blame you after what you've been through tonight. Can you teach me how to sleep with your eyes open? Or maybe I don't want to know. But you were very much not asleep. Let's be real. Daniel not observant. It all started with this incident. 6 days that were to become a nightmare for all. This looks great. People will eventually forget and go on with their lives. This looks so good. I can't stand how much I like this. That is just a toy model. But I will never forget it. It was pure terror, but I kind of liked it. It was also 6 days filled with familiar memories. Okay? This is so good, I can't stand it. I love this. The cinematic view of a really low-res, low-polygon New York City is just so good. Day 2, Fusion. Did I mention Day 1? I don't recall. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. No, I ironically love that. That looks so good. That made me feel really, really, really good. This is the game I needed today. I really desperately needed this. Daniel says, hey, you okay? You ought to be resting. I says, wish I could, but I'm the only one who knows what happened last night. Daniel says, I've been gathering some info on Melissa. She's got no relatives. She has huge breasts and no close friends. She was sick, often always, on some kind of wait, hold on, let me read that better. And no close friends. She was sick often, always on some kind of medication. The people at the opera said they were amazed she could even stand on stage. Her apartment burned down right after the incident, so we have no info on her medication. Nix, why don't you nix that in the butt? Nick says, so what's this spontaneous combustion stuff all about? It's literally what it says. They were Aya says it wasn't exactly spontaneous. People were actually set on fire. Were they not spontaneously on fire though? Like very it was fast. It was out of nowhere. By definition, spontaneous. Warner says, "Oh, come on. What? Like one of those ESP things?" Aya says, "That's the best way to describe it for now." Warner says, "ESP, huh? Well, I'm not buying it." Nick says, "But if you're right, how are we supposed to deal with something like that?" Daniel says, "I believe her. After all, Aya's the only witness so far. Other than the guy who ran away, that freaking wuss. What a dork, man. Running away from actual incoming death. But if you're gonna take on a suspect like that," says Daniel, "you'd better ask Baker for a better sidearm." I don't know, mine was doing all right. I got 2 of them, actually. Rick, we got some Rick lore going on. Randomly, he was afraid of just bursting into flames when he was younger. Understandable. It does happen. Baker says, I read your report. Still hard to believe, but we can't deny all those deaths. We're going to go all out to solve this case. Make sure you're well equipped. Go down to the weapons department and give this permit to Torres. He'll help you out. That's a mod permit. Sir, you seem very still. As a matter of fact, so do I. We both could use some time off, perhaps. Something to relax with, because we are just stiff as a board. Baker says, "Come back later." You gonna relieve yourself while I'm not here there, Baker? Sir? It's a nice office, though. Ooh, yeah. Soundtrack in this. Good. Oh, yeah. Yeah! Nick says, but if you're right, how are we supposed to deal with something like that? Are you still... That conversation ended a long time ago, Nix. Warner says, ESP, huh? Well, I'm not buying it. You said that already. Daniel says, I believe her after... Okay, so you're just gonna say all the things you said already. I could use a CRT right now. I have one right off screen. Not right off screen. It's a little bit over there, but it's fine. It's in this room. I don't know how to get to Torres. Are any of you Torres? Get some coffee. Canuck says, "Ooh, the door and down the stairs." Is your name Canuck and you intentionally said oot? I really hope that's the case. Because if that's true, you're my favorite person. The door was not working. I guess I just wasn't standing in the right spot. But now that you said oot the door. Thank you so much, Canuck. Oh, I'm so glad you're here with that. That's amazing. Yes, you don't want to be American right now. Also, I think you're my enemy if you're Canadian. I think by law, if I don't hate you, then I will be assassinated on screen. Or at least deported. You okay? That sounds good. I should probably equip something. Change weapon. Nope, not weapon. Change armor. We've got the Kuv vest or the cum vest. Oops. Slip of the tongue on that one. High defense and strong against SAW. Man, I hate that. I need to stop reading acronyms and initialisms, because dang. Light and durable armor, that is better defense, energy, and critical. Good for you, Canuck. Good for you. What does that auto thing mean? Perhaps someone such as Canuck can tell me with a Canadian accent and politeness. Cop says, hey, hey, hey. At last, it's mine. Auto heal. I don't need that. I can manually heal. I'm a big boy. Cop says, Aya, you better put on your vest too. Can't be too careful. Aya. So we gotta find Torres. My man. Oh, who's this lady? Whoop! Kathy, the weapons department? You didn't hit your head last night, did you? It's right downstairs. Well, I want to go over here first, because this is brighter and farther away and not where I have to go. What the... Oh, Tim was just cheating. Playing on easy mode, Tim. Come on. Attention. Attention. I got nothing. You certain heard had a stroke there. Canuck says when you hit a certain percentage of health in battle, it'll proc a med automatically versus having to use a turn. I still am kind of I prefer the risk reward decision making aspect of, oh, I need to use a heal this turn. I'm okay with that. So I don't want the auto heal. You get out of here with your auto heal. You can auto heal my butt. That is very raw most of the time. Excuse me, I'd like to go in. Cop says, sorry, only authorized personnel are allowed past here. Yeah, I want more defense. Wait, am I not authorized personnel? I'm a literal police officer. You may or may not speedrun this. Oh, that's what I'm doing. I've got a timer going. It's right here. I'm making good time. I haven't put it on screen yet because I want you all to be surprised when I beat it. World record. You understand, of course. Once it gets close to the end, I'll show the timer on screen, and then everyone can be like, "Oh man, he's gonna make it," and then everyone's gonna like put it on social media, like, "Oh, this guy's about to break the world record," and everyone's gonna come here, and then I'm gonna be rich. Your inventory is full. Maybe. What do you got in here? No, just tell me what's in there before I put something away. Darn you. I mean, I could use that offense thing. Are you Torres? Wayne says, hey there, good looking. All right. Bang. They make or break your times, but they actually enhance mine because I'm just that good at this. Aya says, cut the crap, Wayne. Where's Torres? Wayne says, that Baldy? Who knows? So what'll it be? Shotgun? Rocket launcher? Wayne! Wayne says, yeah, yes, sir. Wayne has a little ponytail. No, sorry, Torres does. Of course Torres would. Torres says, idiots like you are the reason why guns won't disappear from this country. Is that an anti-gun stance in this game? Is that what that's taking? Get your butt back to weapon storage. You're far from ready to be handling guns in here. Wayne says, okay, okay, sheesh. Did that just make an anti-gun stance? No way. That's crazy. Did I read that wrong? Am I misinterpreting that? That's what that read to me. That read like to me. Aya says, Torres, I need some equipment. Some rocket launchers. Lawn chairs, yes, rocket lawn chairs. It shoots lawn chairs with rockets on them. Torres says, for the last night's case, heard it was quite a mess. Yeah, I'll say. But as long as cops rely on guns, criminals will too. It's a vicious cycle. I hate to hand a weapon to a young cop like you, but I hear this isn't your ordinary crook. I guess I can't send you off empty-handed. Torres says, say, you can't carry any more equipment. Wayne, take some of her things and put them in storage. Yes, sir. As long as I can touch her while I do it. Torres says, you have something to say, officer? No, sir. I'll touch her right away. Wayne says, so you want to leave something here? Sure. Probably don't need that other vest now. Put the cum vest away. Crap. Discard, maybe? Is this... I think maybe I've done that wrong. Maybe I did that wrong. Tor says, here, this is the most powerful gun I can allow you to have. Is it the noisy cricket? Tor says, Captain Baker already notified me. Show me your modification permit again. All right, here it is. It's bang, 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 bang. Here it is. Tor says, which gun? Well, I haven't used this one yet, so I don't know. I like the pistol. I'm a pistol guy. People call me Pistol. They don't. I think Pistol probably because there's going to be the most ammo for that. Which was the one that I'm using? Tech 1251, 1760. This one. Add slot. Sure. Tor says, all right, just wait here. Admire my ponytail while I turn around. I will. That was Aya talking. Tor says, all set. I work very fast. Tor says, but just remember, cops own guns for protection. Don't let the guns own you. This guy rules. I want to know his stance on trans rights. Wayne says, psst, don't tell Torres, but you can use your tool to tune up your guns. You can rearrange equipment parameters and added effects to tweak your weapon. Just like real police officers. Wayne says, I can show you some cool tune-up techniques. Wayne, I don't necessarily want you to talk to me anymore. Tune-up icon. Using the tool item, you can add or remove parameters and added effects on your weapon or armor to create your customized equipment. If you remove an added effect from a weapon or armor, the equipment will disappear. The number of added effects that can be attached to a piece of equipment determine the number of slots on that equipment. You can increase the number of slots by getting your equipment modified at the NIP weapons department. Makes sense? When it says you got it, trust me, you can never have too much firepower. Of course, can't use them without bullets, so you better make sure you always have your club. Just in case, you know. Wayne says, now, why don't you leave the stuff you don't need with me? Sure. I mean, I could put it in a box, but I'll just... here you go. You can have this gun that I'm not using. There was reload. This vest that I'm also not using. You can have that. And all of that sounds good. Discard junk? What are you talking about? You got no junk with you right now. Just in your trunk. Probably... Why do I feel like I don't need the rehearsal key or the theater key anymore? I'm gonna move it just because I don't think I'll need that anytime soon. Cue the chat saying, no, you fool! You need it, especially if you're gonna beat the world record speed run. Which I intend to. And I am on pace to do. Offense, +1. I put it on my handgun. I did it. Can I open your box there, Wayne? Or whatever the heck your name is, Torres? Yeah! Stealing your stuff. Taking your guns. Tool. Where's the tool? Okay. I don't need to do that right now. I'm also unsure what I'm doing. What? I mean, that sounds good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I need a telephone. Assuming I go back to Baker now. Oh, we see the doggy. Cop says, wish I could have her a nice Christmas dinner. What? Cop says, I love to watch them. I always come here after my shift to relax. I love to watch them too. So the gun you tool onto another will take the offense stats of so if you take the M19 and tool it to the M16, the M16 gains the offense stats of the M19. Can I do the other way around? Can I put the M16 onto the M19? And also, can I undo it? Is more important. I kind of... That's a key piece of information. I believe this is the conference room again, so I don't know why I went in here. This is not the conference room. It's the exit. We're not here to exit. We gotta talk to Baker, I think, now that we're jacked up. I also kind of want to know what's upstairs. Yeah, I mean, pistol's cool. That's a little girl. Aya says, hey there, you lost? Boy says, ah. The boy's wearing a skirt. Daniel says, Ben. Those are shorts, never mind. But it's Christmas Eve in New York. He's cold. He's got to be cold. Those are bad parents. Ben says, Daddy. Oh, Daniel, I'm sorry. I was talking about you. I'm sorry. Aya says, so this is Ben. Daniel says, Ben, this is Aya. Now, what are you doing here? Ben says, here. I'm so cold, Daddy. Daniel says, tickets? Oh, yeah, the concert. Sorry, son. Daddy's real busy today. I promise I'll make it up for her. Ben says, fine. Daniel says, Ben. I just want pants. I'm so cold. Daniel says, guess every kid needs a mother. And we allow kids to walk on the streets of New York by themselves. That's what we do. Aya says, that's not true. I was raised by my father too, after my mother died. I'll always be grateful for him. Daniel says, yeah, well, his mother's still alive. Boom. This game's already got a better story than the book. These are actual characters. They have pasts. Alright, okay. I tried to do that. Okay, it says, you met Daniel's son, Ben? Daniel divorced his wife last year. This is before you were assigned here. Kathy says, he kept saying every boy needs a father. So he fought for Ben's custody with Lorraine, his ex-wife. Kathy says, well, he won, but being a cop, I doubt if he has time to spend with him. Kathy says, oh yeah, Captain Baker was looking for you. To be clear, I'm somewhat familiar with the custody laws in New York, and it is darn near impossible for the man to win in New York, so that woman must have been messed up. Oh, right, these guys. A lot of those cops look like they have slings on, like little black casts. Everyone's got broken arms. Yeah, no, I like pistols. Pistols usually do me well in video games. I says, sir. Sir. Baker's dead. Hold on, I can't talk to you over there. I gotta move a little bit. Hang on. Now we can speak. Aya says, you were looking for me? Oh, Aya, I didn't see you there. Not until you got directly in front of me. Also, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the door. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about the logistics. Let's talk. Baker says, yes, we're having a press conference now, and I want you there too. Aya says, me? Baker says, that's right. You'll be on national television as the sole survivor of that incident. Aya says, I see. Baker says, but you only answer when I ask you. The media is just looking for anything to grill us about. They may even turn you into a suspect. So you let me do the talking, understood? How would she alone burn the entire audience of an opera without burning the opera down? Aya says, yes, sir. Baker says, okay, then, let's go meet the press. Yeah, it's kind of messed up that they don't slam. I was thinking that too. Baker's huge. It's a big boy. Reporter says, so you are saying this could be the work of a terrorist? Baker says, that is what we currently speculate. Reporter says, how about accounts of officers and firemen at the scene bursting into flames? Aya says, Baker says, that was due to a rare, highly inflammable chemical which was used to start the fire. Reporter says, another question. Then how did Detective Brea survive without so much as a minor burn? Baker says, that is a result of her quick thinking and training as an officer. You know, police are great. Reporter says, I'm asking her the question. Baker says, she. Aya says, she said that my mitochondria were a mutation. Ah! Oh. Baker says, Aya. Don't call me Aya, call me mitochondria. Reporter says, your mitochondria? Who said this? Aya says, Melissa, the one with the big boobs. No, she said she was Eve. Still had big boobs, though. Reporter says, but according to a report, Melissa Pierce was killed in the fire. Aya says, Melissa did die. Her body had been taken over by this Eve. Can't stress enough the boobs, the identifiable trait. Reporter says, what's this Eve? Some kind of an alien? Baker says, people, please, she is very tired and we are still investigating. That will be all for today. Boom, 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 boom. Baker says, I thought I had told you not to say anything. Aya says, I'm telling the truth, sir. Posture. Oh. I'm so mad. I'm actually moving around. My body is not still. Baker says, that is not the point. Who's going to believe you? You only stir up the media and cause people to panic. Daniel says, sir, she was only... Baker says, Baker here. Who? What does he want? Now's not the time to order a bakery order. I know I'm the baker, yes, I know, but I'm also the police chief and I'm busy. Well, put him through then. Baker says, this is Captain Baker. What? Meet. You'll have to speak up. Yes? What? Yes? All right. Baker says, some Japanese scientist, I think. Couldn't understand his English too well. He was raving about some mito something. Says he's coming over here. Daniel says, Mite zero? Kind of looks like Mite zero. Aya says, is it mitochondria? Nick says, you mean that thing in the cell that makes energy from oxygen? Daniel says, might have heard about that in school. Aya says, that's what Eve had said. That it's time for the mitochondria to be set free. Nick says, hey, I just read that some researcher at the museum wrote a new theory on them. Daniel says, sir, I'm taking Aya to go talk to this researcher. Baker says, go. Better get there before the media. It may explain that phone call, too. Sorry, I couldn't see that word over the yellow paper for some reason. Daniel says, yes, sir. Come on, Aya. All right, so, yes, the premise is similar to that of the book. These are different characters. The Japanese scientist, I'm curious, is going... Maybe that's more in line with the book. The mitochondria, same premise. Same sort of deal. Daniel says, I'll bring the car around. Meet me out the front there. All right. Should we be worried about your son wandering the streets of New York by himself with no pants? No, says Daniel. Daniel's a bad father. He used his police authority to wrestle custody from his wife, and now he is killing his son. That is my Daniel lore. Carnegie Hall Museum is where we need to go. Listen to that music. Do we really have to talk, Daniel? Daniel says, we're going to the Museum of Natural History. Dr. Hans Clamp will be there. I says, Dr. Clamp? What's his area of research? I can't imagine Dr. Clamp is a Japanese man. Daniel says, well, according to the papers, he's working on a new theory. Mitochondria something, but it seems to cover the whole genetic spectrum. Aya says, that's odd, to have a PhD and be working in a museum. Is it? That doesn't sound odd at all. Daniel says, well, he's pretty antisocial and doesn't like to waste time outside research. I says, oh, great. We're going to have a grand time with this one. Daniel says, yeah, I know where you're going with this. Just be careful this time, huh? Yeah, no, this is, I'm enjoying this. This is a good time. I says, are you referring to the press conference? Daniel says, yeah. Daniel's got one heck of a mustache, by the way. I says, Daniel, why do you kiss the chief's butt? Literally. You two joined the force at the same time, didn't you? Daniel says, yeah, but that was years ago. Now, he's my boss. American Museum of Natural History is where we're going, I assume. Daniel says, it's been a while since I visited the museum. Daniel says, dinosaur exhibit. Loved these things when I was a kid. Daniel says, looks like it's closed today. Daniel says, well, let's see what security guard can do for us. You mean it's closed on Christmas Eve? Or day? Possibly day at this point? Because I feel like we've been going a long time. And Daniel says, hey there, how you doing? Guard says, doing okay. Pretty cold day, though. How about yourself? Also, I'm here on Christmas. I hate my life. Daniel says, we're with the NYPD. We're looking for a Dr. Clamp. He works here, doesn't he? Guard says, sure does. As a matter of fact, he's up there in his room right now. Everybody working on Christmas. That is one heck of a flashlight, too. Guard says, did he do something? Daniel says, nah, we just want to talk to him, that's all. I says, thank you. It shouldn't take long. And if you hear screams, ignore them. If you hear moans, participate. Daniel says, place is pretty... Guard, you'll find him in... the guard says you'll find him in the research lab on the second floor. It did not allow me to advance that text. Guard says, he's been pretty busy for the past few weeks. Doesn't come out, ever. Daniel says, thanks. Well, time to explore a little bit. I want to see the sights. Oh, I know we haven't saved it in a very long time. Guard says, oh, by the way, could you sign in? It's policy. Lets us keep track of who comes in. Daniel says, thanks, Aya. Aya says, gee, Daniel, you sure you don't want to run down here and do it yourself? Guard says, notebooks on the counter, thanks. Aya says, just my name? Guard says, yep, that should be enough, unless you want to leave your number, too. Oh, gross. That guy's like 80 years old. Stupid. Navigating menus with analog sticks is not ideal. This would be like a good spot for a dungeon, probably. Guard says, hey, just between us, the doctor's a bit, you know, just be careful. I don't know. You're going to have to specify, but you wouldn't, so I guess I'm just going to go talk to him. Daniel says, hey, Aya. Daniel says, over here. Daniel says, hey, it's open. Let's check it out. Eek! I'm naked, says the doctor. Daniel says, excuse me, hello? Hey, Dr. Clamp. Daniel says, Dr. Clamp. Clamp says, I hear you. Aya says, we're with the NYPD. We'd like to ask you a few questions. I love the way this game looks, man. I really do. It looks just so good. Aya says, Professor, we're looking for clues concerning the incident which occurred. Clamp says, are you accusing me? Clamp says, Aya says, what? This again? What is this? What is it? Aya says, this man. I know him, I think. Doctor, he's not an actual doctor, though. He's a PhD. Am I wrong? He's not a medical doctor. Then he says, what's wrong? Are you okay? Aya says, yeah. Danny says, we'd like to ask you about the mitochondria research you've been doing. Clamp says, NYPD, huh? Why are you so interested in my work? Aya said, the suspect mentioned that the mitochondria would be set free. Now, do you? Danny says, that suspect ignited people without laying a finger on them. Then it transformed into some kind of creature and ran off. Aya says, since she mentioned mitochondria, we were hoping you could supply us with some info. Clamp says, haha, you two have absolutely no idea what the true mitochondria is like. Do you? No, that's why we're here. Clamp says, the mitochondria possesses its own unique genetic code. Aya says, its own... Are you saying it's a separate organism? Clamp says, precisely. Daniel says, kind of like a parasite or something, huh? Perhaps a Parasite Eve for the PlayStation? Clamp says, parasite? That's an interesting way of describing this most fascinating creature. We cannot live without the mitochondria. Do you understand? The mitochondria creates energy for us. Without it, we're nothing. We are here because the mitochondria allows us to be here. Clamp says, our brain, for example. There's that Discord link. If you like the way I play games, join the Discord. Talk to me about what games to play next. It's important. It's the best way to support me. There it is. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. The brain functions due to the interaction between axons and dendrites. I don't know what a dendrite is. I don't know what an axon is, to be fair. Clamp says this interaction is possible due to the energy of the mitochondria provides. Did you know the mitochondria is capable of discharging 200,000 V of electricity? That's a lot of V. This not only pertains to electrical discharge, but also applies to heat energy as well. I says, heat? Daniel says, then the combustions from last night were... Clamp says, Clamp says, for a human to burn and melt, 1600 degrees of heat must be generated. There are several hundred mitochondria present within a single cell. If all the mitochondria in the body began functioning at the same time, a tremendous amount of energy would be generated and released. Melting a human into a puddle of fluid would be a simple task with so much energy. Aya says, so you're saying that the mitochondria ignited these people? Dana says, Professor, you may be right in that we need a mitochondria to live, but in the end, we're just using them for energy, right? Clamp says, haha, you have no idea. The mitochondria has control over organisms' growth. Take this hand, for example. It wraps around... Never mind. Before we're born, the hand is merely a glob of flesh. But when cells between fingers deteriorate, that's when the fingers first form. When the cells which make up the body aren't needed anymore, it receives a signal to die. This signal is initiated by the mitochondria. When it is relayed, the genetic information in the nucleus is cut off and in essence dies. Clamp says, the same can be said for aging. The mitochondria mutates 10 times faster than cells. Of course, this also applies to mutant forms of mitochondria as well. When too many mutant mitochondria multiply, energy production level decreases. The decrease in energy production is associated with the aging process. Clamp says, so, are you still stupid enough to say that we are the higher species? Pew pew. Danny says, but you're not saying that the mitochondria is doing all this consciously, right? Clamp says, when I said that the mitochondria could mutate 10 times faster than normal cells, I also meant that they could evolve at a rate 10 times faster. Clamp says, since the beginning of the creation, the mitochondria has been evolving at this rate. It's no surprise if they possess a power beyond our cognition. No surprise at all. This is exactly out of the book, but the book takes a really long time to reveal any of this. He does have a glorious stash. And, in fact, Dr. Clamp has a nice goatee. Posture. I would have put that goatee on someone from the early 2000s before I would put it on someone from the 90s. Daniel says, Clamp says, let me tell you something. You've told me a lot. Clamp says, there was a scientist who tried to determine the mutation rate of the mitochondria. With this, the scientist wanted to establish a connection with human ancestry. In 1987, it was announced that the root of all humans can be traced to a single woman in Africa. This is exactly out of the book. This finding was announced around the world. And with this, the mitochondrial theory spread like wildfire. You know what they call the root of it all? Mitochondria Eve. Splendid name. Just incredible. Eve, says Aya. The suspect in yesterday's case called herself Eve. Clamp says, what? Daniel says, hey, if you know anything, you better not be holding back on us. Clamp says, she called herself Eve? Sorry, but I've told you what I know. I'd like to return to my studies now. I believe you know the way out. Daniel says, hey, you better explain what the heck is going on here. Aya says, Daniel, forget it. Let's just go. Daniel says, gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm sure we'll never see Clamp ever again. I guess we're going back to the police station. Clamp's pecker just moved. Okay, I didn't notice that. Which is weird, because I'm usually looking at peckers. I must have been distracted by the goatee/mustache in my presence. Daniel says, what the heck is wrong with that guy? I can't stand him. Why? He was very... He was very helpful. I says, I says, that man, I've seen him before, but I can't remember where. Daniel says, it's Daniel. What? Okay, we'll be right there. Daniel says, Aya, looks like we got a break in the case. This is well written, well translated. Aya says, what? Daniel says, we got to get back to the station, Aya. Hang on, I'm kicking this into turbo. Do cars have turbo? Is that a real thing? Well, his car does. New York City Police Department, 17th Precinct. That was a lot of exposition. But it's okay. So what I can tell you is that they summed up the premise of the book. Everything you need to know about the book, that guy just told you. There you go. Eddie says, hey, except for the themes and the messaging that I don't necessarily like. Eddie says, hey, Aya, any news on the case? Hope you bag this creep soon. I hate to bump into him on the street and burst into flames. Rick, I don't think... Rick definitely does not have a car. Kathy says, this whole place is going nuts. Wonder what's happened. You want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts. From the store. I could use some. Daniel says, let's go, folks. We're starting the meeting. What folks? Just me? Boop 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 doop boop doop boop 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 doop boop doop boop. Ha! I just realized on the chalkboard it says Melissa. That's great. They're clearly trying to figure it out back there by having flowcharts and stuff. What about Morty? Oh, yeah, Rick. Baker says, Melissa's solo concert was scheduled for today. She had disappeared after last night's incident and the concert was canceled. But people are still gathering at the stage. We must not let another massacre happen again. As you can see, I've written Melissa on this chalkboard. Baker says, the concert is at the Central Park Amphitheater. Daniel says, Central Park? Aya says, what is it, Daniel? Daniel says, Ben and Lorraine, they're at that concert. Aya says, oh, what? You can ask me. I can't promise anything, but you can ask me all you want. Daniel says, screw you, Baker. My son's in danger. Baker says, Daniel. Aya. What does Nix think about all this? Baker says, watch his back. Aya says, yes, sir. Wait, why do I have... Oh, okay. So I'm going to go mod my gun again. No, this game... Other than the protagonist being outrageously hot, pretty awesome in that respect. Like, just absurdly hot. Just ridiculous. Unacceptably so. Wayne says, when are you going to let me tune up the guns? I didn't ask to be assigned here to watch over the warehouse all day, you know. Tor says, as long as you see guns as toys, you'll never touch them. Wayne says, hey, I know I can make a stronger gun than you. Tor says, guns aren't supposed to be stronger, you numbskull. They're supposed to be safer. Wayne says, fine, you geezer. Not Wayne, Torres rules. I keep mixing those two up for some reason. Torres says, sorry, Aya, didn't mean to make a scene. But that goes for you, too. You can never be too careful with a gun. Torres says, do you have an equipment modification permit with you? I sure do. Which gun? I guess the pistol again, even though I haven't used it since I've done that. Torres says, all right, just wait here. I like the idea of jacking up my pistol because there's going to be ammo aplenty for it. Torres says, all set. Torres says, but just remember, cops own guns for protection. Don't let the guns own you. That's Torres' motto. Parameter will be moved and will be lost. No, wait, what? That's not what I want. So the other way around then? And M16A1 will be lost. I don't want to do this until I know what the guns do. Do guns use different ammo? Ah, that's a good question. I don't know. Good night, Bop. Have a good day, /night, wherever the heck, whatever time it is for you. Mikhail says, New York is in huge effing danger from the monster who can burst people into fire and stuff, but you still need to permit to upgrade. Yeah, that's true. That's true of not just video games, I just feel like fiction. And also, that's just capitalism, baby. You don't call it capitalism for nothing. They gotta capitalize. In theory, price gouging is illegal, but I've yet to see that be enforced. I've witnessed a lot of price gouging. Also, that's awesome. Heck yes. We're on the case. Gotta save Ben and Lorraine. Daniel says, what the heck does Eve want from us? Aya says, well, it looks like she wants to gather people in one big area. Daniel says, darn. That thing's got my boy involved. She's gonna pay for this. Aya says, let's hurry. Daniel says, just hang in there, Ben. I'm coming for you. When we hit a save point, we will probably stop because I feel like we're gonna start a dungeon and I don't have time to... We're starting a set piece, inevitably, so I will save it and then we will pick it up next time, which I'm very excited to do. I believe that's Friday night at this time, so 2 days from now, I will be starting roughly 46 hours from now. 45 hours and 45 minutes. No, wait, huh? 48 hours and 45 minutes from now. No, 45 hours and 45 minutes from now. I was right. I will be starting. Mikhail, have you not? Oh, wait. You're on Twitch now. Thank you, Mikhail. Daniel says, Bien. I says, Daniel, stop. I need a telephone. Daniel says, I got my boy, Rookie. Oh, no. Daniel says, whoa. No problem, Mikhail. Everyone prefers Twitch for live streams. I need to start capitalizing on that and just embrace it. We'll get some emotes and stuff set up soon. People should come up with some ideas from emotes. I still think Tim Allen, because I go too much, and everyone should drop the Tim Allen emote, even though he's a problematic figure. But if I can make money off his visage, I will. I says, sometimes you got to look before you leap, old timer. You only need a Hagoa? What the heck is that? I don't know what that is. Google it. Okay. Should I turn safe search off, or? Is a term in Japanese pornography for a facial expression of characters, images. So it's an O face. It's the vinegar strokes. Danny says, I don't care if I burn. You should, because if you burn alive, then I says, I'll go. Danny says, Ben's my son. He's the only family I've got. Danny says, darn it, I can't do anything. This is really good writing, because they set up that Aya can't be set on fire, but Daniel clearly can. He just tried and got burned, so now this is the gameplay. This is the narrative reason why, gameplay-wise, I have to be alone. And that's really cool. Aya says, leave it to me. Danny says, well, but. Aya says, I'll get them out safe, I promise. Besides, Ben needs you. You won't do him any good if you are dead. That just makes logical sense. Danny says, all right, I'm counting on you, Aya. Aya says, I know. Aya know. All right, is there a telephone in the car, perhaps, so I can save it? Maybe there's a phone, like a payphone in the Central Park. That would make sense. There's probably a payphone, at least there was back then, and probably not now. Heck yes. And there's the payphone. My God, this game rules. All right, I'm wrapping it up. Everyone, best way to support me right now is to join the Discord. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. However you want me to say it so you understand what I'm saying. Join that and talk to me about what games to play. Thank you, Mikhail, for joining the Discord. Be like Mikhail and be cool. There's also obviously the likening and the subscribing and the thing. Yeah, so do all that stuff. I will see you next time. Tomorrow we're doing stuff. The next day we're doing stuff. We're doing stuff all the time. The schedule's in the Discord, which you should be joining. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. Good night, everybody. Have a great one. This was a lot of fun. Bye-bye.